Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life where I'm making all kinds of crafty fun. So I am going to be making a 2-page spread of more December daily photos. I probably mentioned before that I try to do month-end reviews every month, but December, of course, is full of activity. Some of them demand way more than one photo, but some of them only have like one or two. So I try to put them all on the same layout because it still is Christmas time, so it all kind of goes together. Now, I got this set and a giveaway pile when I went to a crop a few months ago. Believe me, I don't need more Christmas paper, but I really like this. It was really pretty, and something about, free gets you going, right? So we have 2 of this Christmas tree paper. So I decided to use this as the base. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1 inch off 2 sides. So on the right side and then on the bottom. So I'm just switching it over, and then I'm going to put it directly in the middle. Now, a lot of times when I do this, I end up gutting the middle of the cardstock base. In this case, it's the white one, but that white cardstock is not really that thick, and I don't feel like it could support all my pictures and all the embellishments, so that's why I didn't gut it this time. I'm cutting this red piece 3.5 inches wide, and I'm going to do the same thing on this is the left side, and I'm going to do the same thing on the right, but that red piece of paper is going to be on the right side, but you'll see that in just a minute. So my thought is to get as many pictures as possible on the page. Now, the bad thing is most of these pictures are 4x6. A lot of times when I'm doing these multiple like month in review pages, I really try hard to do more smaller photos, but I think these photos, they just, whatever, I just didn't, I don't know why not, but anyhow, so it worked out fine. And actually the ones that I just looked at right now with that stadium, the gingerbread stadium, I'm going to end up doing a completely different layout for that one because I did have a lot of pictures and that was one kind of specific activity. Anyhow, I'm really trying to concentrate and talk about making clusters in this video because I think a lot of people have a hard time with it. I love making clusters. I think that especially when you're using a kit that already has all the things, because if you're grabbing from here, there, and everywhere, you've got to make sure things coordinate color-wise and theme-wise, things like that. But when they come from a kit, it just makes it so easy. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about really quick is I do need to organize these pictures. Now, I wasn't exactly sure, but then you see how that top row, how me moving that other 4x6, okay, I'm talking about the right side, moving that one 4x6 photo towards the left, it seems to flow better. And then the ones on the bottom are more kind of horizontal, and that flows better as well as far as the 2-page spread. I love the way it looks this way. And I still was able to get, 9 pictures total, because even though it looks like you see 8 on that right hand or the right layout, I'm going to have a flip flap, and that's going to hold 2 photos as well as my journaling. Now, what I'm going to show you is the journaling because that's what's going to hold more of a cluster. So back to making clusters. It'll catch up to me. Don't worry, because right now I'm just putting everything down. So when you make clusters, especially when it's 2 pages or even if it's just 1 page, I like to do at least 3 clusters if possible. And that doesn't mean 3 really heavy, big, lots of loaded clusters. What it means is you should have one that's kind of, I call it like the heavier one. So one that's got more of items on there. Maybe it's bigger. Maybe it's got, just takes up more space, things like that. So that would be your big main cluster, which is what I'm working on right here on the right side, right here in the corner. The next one should be just a little bit smaller, so like a medium cluster. And then the other one could literally just be like 1 or 2 things. So with my clusters, I like to use some kind of base. I'm using this frame as the base, even though it's empty and open in the middle, it still kind of gives me a place to put the items. So I laid that there, and now I'm just going through stuff. I want to get a big thing. Always work kind of the bigger things, or if there's something you absolutely want to have in that cluster, make sure you work with that first. So in this case, it was the poinsettia plant because that was the biggest, and I love the way it looks right there in the corner. I'm just playing around and I'm thinking, okay, I know for sure I'm using the frame. I know for sure I'm using these certain things. Let me just glue them down, because otherwise you are shifting things all day long, right? So I really love that little label thing too. I did trim it down a little bit so I don't need to use the whole thing. So you saw me just put that there. And then I'm just kind of building around that frame. You see how there's still some empty spots in the middle of that. That's kind of to the right of the photo. But you see the pattern paper. It's not super noticeable because the pattern paper is there, but it's so full of just great items that it doesn't look empty. Now I have the second part of the frame. Now, if you notice it, it's really kind of like an L. It's not going to frame like the other one did. So I'm just going to decide where I'm going to put it, and then I'm pretty much going to cover it, because nobody's going to know that that other part of the frame is not there except for us, because we're watching it. Now this is my medium size one. It's going to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to use kind of the same elements, right? So remember how I used that gold label over there on the right page? This one I'm going to use another label so it's there. So it still kind of has the same idea as the other cluster. So there's that part of that frame. There's also the poinsettia plant. There's also that label, like I mentioned, and also one of the little, greenery. But see how that's medium, definitely larger over there on that right, and then medium on that left. So at this point I'm thinking, oh my gosh, where am I going to put another cluster? There's really not room to put a third. So do I just not do it? Let me think. Now I know I'm doing a flip flap in that bottom on the right side, right here where I'm pointing. So instead of doing photos there, because what I was thinking is I would put my journaling in the inside part of the flap, right? But then I'm thinking, that's a good spot for my third cluster. So instead of the photo being on top, I'm going to make my journaling spot so that you can see that first of all. So instead of this one here of my granddaughter, I'm going to actually put that in the flip flap. So give me a minute. There it is. I'm going to show you. So this is going to be the smaller one and the third cluster. And basically it's a journaling spot, but I am going to add another one of those labels. And I don't have any more of that frame, but look at, I have a scrap piece of that plaid. So I'm going to put that on the side. So again, I'm really emulating, or I'm copying what I did before. I am going to put one of the greenery or the holly, and then one of the labels before I put all the journaling down. But you see how simple that was? So easy, and it's so pretty, and it doesn't look too clustered. But that's my idea of how to put together some embellishment clusters, and I hope this helped you. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I truly appreciate you watching. And also, if you're not already, you can subscribe to my channel. I do post at least 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking. The other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. And the command center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. I'll have a link to all that information in the information box, as well as my Instagram account or anything else I feel like you need to know. But isn't this a fun layout? Again, tons of stuff going on. And I just have some really quick journaling, just some basic stuff that we did this Christmas. A lot of it the same, because we do a lot of the same traditional things, but just a different look, obviously, because the kids are getting older, or we have an additional kid. In this case, my granddaughter, the youngest granddaughter, was born. So it's always a lot of fun to note the big differences. But thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope this helped you while you're making your clusters. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may or may not have. Well, I guess if you don't have questions, you won't write one. But thanks for watching. Bye.